people, welcome to my studio. Hey, it's Pete Thorn, and I am here today in conjunction with my good friends at Guitar World. A little while ago, my pals at Guitar World approached me and said, hey, what do you think about making some videos for us? They'll go up on your channel, and you get to do your thing, you know, check out some cool products, check out some cool gear, make some cool music and stuff. We want you to do your thing, but it'll be in conjunction with us. And I said, that sounds good to me, let's give it a go. So this is my first video I'm doing in conjunction with Guitar World. And they asked me to check out something really interesting for the first video I'm making for them. So today we're going to take a look at a really interesting piece of gear. This thing takes me back. It's the Model 12 from Tascam. Now this is, yes, a mixer, but it's also a 12-track standalone recorder, and it can also function as an audio interface, so like a front end for something like Logic or Pro Tools. And you can actually also even use it to control some of those units so that you've got control over like your digital audio workstation's transport right here via the Model 12. But I mean, the most interesting thing to me is that they're kind of embracing their Tascam and TIAC PORTASTUDIO lineage here. You know, with the built-in recorder and a very simple mixer with aux sends, 3-band EQ with sweepable mid on every channel, built-in compressor on every channel, and really good sounding mic pre's on every channel as well. There's also some built-in effects. And you can even Bluetooth up to this thing. So say maybe you want to play along to some tracks from your phone or something. You just want to, you know, play them via Bluetooth. You just pair it up with your phone or whatever Bluetooth device you've got, and away you go. Okay, there's also a stereo subgroup as well as the main master left and right output. There's solos and mutes on every channel, pans on every channel. The last two channels are actually stereo, so 7, 8, 9, 10. You can use them mono or stereo, whatever you like. It's also got 2 headphone jacks and lots of provisions for Q sends and things like that. So when you're recording, you know, you can get different headphone mixes going and stuff. So when I first sat down to make this video, I thought, well, I'll use it as a front end into Logic and I'll just record through it like an audio interface into Logic and come up with the track. But I quickly kind of morphed into the idea of using it like a PORTASTUDIO and just recording to the internal recorder. And that's what you heard in that track at the beginning of the video. It was 6 really basic tracks that I recorded, a couple acoustic guitars, a couple electric guitars, a lead guitar part, as well as a shaker part. And honestly, I had the best time doing that. It was so much fun just recording that simple little track, using it PORTASTUDIO style. It took me back to the 80s and reminded me of, you know, the earliest days that I can remember of recording using the little Tascam PORTASTUDIOs. If you're a Generation X age musician like me, for sure you probably grew up learning how to write songs and learning how to record on one of these things. And check it out, it looks so much like the Model 12. I love that they're embracing this old aesthetic and just kind of honoring it with this new device because they were really cool. You know, there's some limitations, it's very simple, but that's kind of fun. And you just sort of work around those limitations and it breeds creativity and you work with what you've got. And truth be told, this does more than just about any one of those PORTASTUDIOs from the 80s ever did, that's for sure. I mean, it's 12 tracks as opposed to, you know, a 4-track recorder. And I think as you could hear from that recording, everything's super clean. I mean, it sounds really great. The built-in EQs sound great, and even the compression is really cool. Okay, so I thought maybe it'd be cool to just break down this mix and this recording that I did a little bit. It's just 6 tracks. It's very simple, kind of a total throwback here, blast from the past, working this way, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So let's start out by playing the tune, and I'm going to mute everything except for the shaker. That's the first thing you're going to hear. So I just played the shaker, you know, right into a microphone, had the mic plugged right into the mic pre. Mic pre sound great on this, by the way. Really good. I can start the recording. First, I'm going to just hit the stop button twice. That's going to kick it all the way back for sure to the beginning of the recording. And then I'll hit play, and you'll hear the shaker here in a second. I'll just bring it up. Not much to say about this other than I added a little bit of top end via the EQ. And there's a little bit of the reverb going on. Now, I'm using the effects here in the Model 12. It's called the Room 2 reverb. Whole bunch of different effects, but I'm using the Room 2. I'll turn that up a bit. Just a nice warm room with about a 3-second tail. It sounds really good. And like I say, I'm just adding a bit of this top end on the shaker. And I'm also using a little bit of compression to keep it under control. If I turn the compressor way up, you'll hear it clamp way down. And bring it back down. If you wanted to really get the shaker evened out and really hear like almost more of it without the attack, the rhythmic attack, you could bring it up and it would just even it out. And then that would be a cool sound too. I'm just using it just a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the tune. We're going to unmute one of the acoustics now and let's take a listen to that as well. So for this, once again, I just had microphone plugged right into the mic pre. on the Model 12. And I've got one acoustic pan left, one acoustic pan right. Just adding some of that top end again. You can hear me bringing it in and out there. And I'm using some of the compression built into the Model 12 as well. Now, one thing I'm doing on this guitar is I am dumping out low mids, and I want to show you something here that's really cool, and you can do this easily using the EQ on the Model 12. I'm taking out a little bit of lows, adding some highs, but then I'm dumping some low mids. And the way that I found the frequency that I want to cut to kind of clean things up and keep things nice in the mix, I'm going to show you. I'll play it here again. Okay, there's the frequency I want to cut. So what I just did is I boosted the mids way up, and then I sweeped the mid-range until I found the frequency that sounds like a blanket over the whole mix. Just the whoa, sounds like you just put a pillow over the guitar sound, right? So I find that frequency, and then I simply dial it back. Okay, so I'll show you what that sounds like when I pull it back. So what that does is it just cleans up your mix so much. If you can find those low mid-range frequencies, you know, it's always somewhere between, say, maybe near for 190 on up to like 400 or 500 hertz, something like that. On a lot of instruments, there's a lot of low mid buildup. You know, guitars, certainly acoustic guitars, certainly electric guitars, many times drums like kick drum and stuff, and you can cut those low mids and it helps to clean up the mix and just make for more room. Let's bring in the other guitar now as well. I'll go back to the beginning, bring in my second acoustic. Really disorganized. I put the other acoustic way over here while the other one was over here. I don't know why I did that. It's my mind, just how I operate. So I had a capo on one of the guitars. One's in first position, the other one's in fifth position. Got a nice stereo thing going on. Let's bring in the electrics. So one of these electrics I recorded with a mic on a cab, and the other one is the direct output, which has speaker simulation on my Shure PT-15 amp. Just recorded 2 tracks that way, with 2 different guitars, panned them out. Okay, let's check out the lead guitar now. On the lead guitar part, I recorded that stereo into 910, one of the stereo channels on the Model 12, and I'm using a little bit of echo and reverb. This is coming out of a Line 6 Helix. Okay, so let's take a listen to that. A little bit of a ping pong delay going. You know, I could see this being great for like bands. If you got a band with a couple guitar players, drums, bass, singer, and you want to record your band rehearsals and you don't want to mess around with computers, it's a no-brainer. You could mic the kick, the snare, overheads, hook up a couple guitars, a bass, and a vocal, and away you go. You got enough tracks there to track all that live right off the floor. Maybe you want to record your gigs too. And then you can put this thing under your arm, take it home, and use it as your home studio. I also wanted to mention the new vamp playback function. So as Tascam says it, the vamp playback function gives a seamless loop playback between two selected points in a song, enabling interactive live playback for extended solos and jams and repeated playback of selected tracks only. So this is obviously useful live, like you could on the fly loop sections to extend, say, a chorus or extend a solo section if you're jamming along to pre-recorded tracks that you've done using the Model 12. This is a really cool feature for recording as well. Let's say you want to loop an 8-bar section and just practice over it if you're coming up with like a cool guitar solo or something like that, or you just want to practice and jam over a certain section of a track, you can use Vamp to do that. And I should also mention that you can set auto punch in and punch out points when recording for every track. Now there's also just something really nice about using it as a front end for something like Logic or Pro Tools. We've all gotten so used to using kind of standalone recording interfaces and, you know, getting into the software mixers and stuff like that. But I don't know, there's nothing like having that big old fader, 60mm fader to just kind of slide up and down and get the right levels going. There's MIDI in and out jacks as well on the Model 12 if you want to integrate it with any of your other MIDI devices like, let's say, drum machines and things like that. All right, let's check out some of the effects now from the Model 12. These are the built-in effects that are easily accessible on any channel from one of the aux sends. So first up, this is the Room 2 sound that I used on the mix for the song. Okay, and you're just hearing my guitar through my PT15 amp. It's mic'd in the other room. I've got a 57 on the cab, and I'm using the mic pre right in the Model 12. Okay, so I dig that reverb a lot. It's nice and warm. Let's check out a couple different ones. Here's a plate. Hey, much more of that plate character. It's brighter, clearer. What else we got here? Studio. Oh, kind of a short thing. That's interesting. Real short decay on that one. Let's get down to some of the delays. Slap back delay. These are super tweakable, obviously. You can get in and tweak delay time and everything else. I'm just running through some presets. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. It's a little imaging going on, a little stereo delay. Here's a ping pong. And chorus. That's pretty seasick. I'd have to dial back the rate and the depth a little bit on that, I think. Here's a flanger. And then there's some combos of like delay and reverb together. That's pretty fun. Thanks for watching my video on the Tascam Model 12 mixer, interface, recorder, and controller. I had a lot of fun with this thing. This is a real throwback for me and was just really cool. One thing I almost neglected to mention, there's a built-in click, so it's a metronome. So if you want to have something to jam along to and keep time either when you're doing your recordings or maybe even just when you're practicing using the mixer, it's really nice having that built-in metronome. You can check this out further at the website down in the video description below. Just click there and it'll take you to all the information you could ever want to know about the Model 12 from Tascam. Please don't hesitate to hit subscribe. I'd really love to have you back. There's all kinds of content on this channel, lessons and tutorials and tips on recording and the music business and all kinds of stuff, not just gear reviews. So please hit subscribe, hit the little bell beside the subscribe, and you'll get an alert every time I put out a new video. I'm Pete Thorn, here for Guitar World. Over and out. See you real soon for more videos. Take care.